Hello and welcome back to Bible Wits Bible Corner. Today we're going to be in the New Testament. We're going to be in the book of Matthew, chapter 14, and I'm going to read verses 13 through 21, starting with the English Standard Version. Now when Jesus heard this, he withdrew from there in a boat to a desolate place by himself. But when the crowds heard it, they followed him on foot from the towns. When he went ashore, he saw a great crowd, and he had compassion on them, and healed their sick. Now, when it was evening, the disciples came to him and said, "This is a desolate place, and the day is now over. Send the crowds away to go into the villages and buy food for themselves." But Jesus said, "They need not go away. You give them something to eat." They said to him, "We have only 5 loaves here and 2 fish." And he said, "Bring them here to me." Then he ordered the crowds to sit down on the grass, and taking the 5 loaves and the 2 fish, he looked up to heaven and said a blessing. Then he broke the loaves and gave them to the disciples, and the disciples gave them to the crowds, and they all ate and were satisfied. And they took up 12 baskets full of broken pieces left over, and those who ate were about 5,000 men, besides the women and children. Okay, now, New Century Version. When Jesus heard what had happened to John, he left in a boat and went to a lonely place by himself. But the crowds heard about it and followed him on foot from the towns. When he arrived, he saw a great crowd waiting. He felt sorry for them and healed those who were sick. When it was evening, his followers came to him and said, "No one lives in this place, and it is already late. Send the people away so they can go to the towns and buy food for themselves." But Jesus answered, "They don't need to go away. You give them something to eat." They said to him, "But we only have 5 loaves of bread and 2 fish." Jesus said, "Bring the bread and the fish to me." Then he told the people to sit down on the grass. He took the 5 loaves and the 2 fish, and looking to heaven, he thanked God for the food. Jesus divided the bread and gave it to his followers, who gave it to the people. All the people ate and were satisfied. Then the followers filled 12 baskets with the leftover pieces of food. There were about 5,000 men there who ate, not counting the women and children. Okay. So, what I want to get across with this passage here is God will provide. These people that followed him, they had some needs that needed to be filled, and Jesus fulfilled some of those needs, healing the sick. We don't know everything Jesus did there. According to the book of John, there's not enough paper in the world to write down everything Jesus did. So we don't know what all he did other than feeding these 5,000 and healing the sick. But we do know that the people's needs were met. And then the other side of that, the disciples needed to see this. They needed to see how Jesus would react in this situation, how he would treat the people with compassion, because the disciples really didn't have compassion. Go ahead, send them away. They'll get their own food. That wasn't how Jesus wanted things done. So, God will provide for our needs. We only need to do 2 things. Meet him so that our needs can be met, and we have to do our part so our needs can be met. So, I hope you find encouragement in this, and I hope you have a wonderful, God-centered day. Bye.